Hello! I borrowed my book that I'm going to read today from my local library. I went there this week and I found so many books that I loved. And I found a few books that I'd never seen before, so I borrowed them because I could not wait to find out about them. And I can't wait to share them with you. Today's book is one of them. It is Goodnight, Moon. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of... Well, we have to find out once we go to the next page what the picture was. But before we do, let's try and find the things in the green room. Can you spot the red balloon? That's right, there it is. And the telephone. And can you spot the picture? Well, if you look carefully, I see two pictures. So let's find out which this picture is of. The cow jumping over the moon. And there were three little bears sitting on chairs. So let's go back and see whether we were correct. So there's the first picture of the cow jumping over the moon, and the second picture of three bears sitting on chairs. Let's find out what else is in the room. And a pair and two little kittens and a pair of mittens. So, can you spot the two kittens? And are you able to see the pair of mittens? Well, there they are. And a pair means two. So we have 1 and 2. And a comb and a brush and a bowl full of mush. So in the green room on the little table was the comb and the brush and a bowl of mush. And a quiet old lady who was whispering, "Hush." Goodnight room. So here we have everything that we saw. So we saw the red balloon. We saw the pair of mittens, we saw the two kittens, we saw the telephone, we saw the two pictures, one of the cow jumping over the moon and the other one of the three bears sitting on chairs. Then we saw the table with a comb, a brush and a bowl of mush. And finally, we saw that little lady saying, "Hush." Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Good night, light and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. So we're saying goodnight to all the things we see in the green room. Good night, kittens, and good night, mittens. Good night, clocks, and good night, socks. So there's a pair of socks. And can you see where the clock is? Well, I can see 2 clocks. One here above the fireplace and the other one sitting on the bedside stand. Good night, little house, and good night, mouse. Good night, comb, and good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady, whispering, hush. Good night, stars. Good night, air. There are lots of stars on this clear night. Good night, noises everywhere. And that is the end of the story. It was a story about saying goodnight. How many things or people do you say goodnight to? Do you sit in your room at night and say goodnight to every single thing you see in your room? I don't. I say goodnight to the people that I love in my home, and then I'm off to bed.